Yep, you're go live.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Tech Stand Up Podcast. Today I'm joined by
Jase McCarty.
Hi, Jase. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Jase McCarty. I work for VMware in the storage and availability business unit. Been there about 3 years. Before that, I worked for another vendor in the space, and then I was a customer for about 15 years before that.
Oh, nice. So it's funny that you say that you're part of the storage team on VMware. It's actually one of the things that I wanted to talk to you today about. Is I've noticed a lot of companies are doing software-defined data center, or as we know the acronym, SDDC. You know, being two military guys, we're used to a lot of acronyms, and I think the tech industry fits us well. So why don't you explain to me a little bit about how about storage fits into the SDDC ecosystem?
Well, so I don't know, the way I look at it, and keep in mind I was in a storage kind of focused role previously, at another vendor. Before that, though, I worked in a small shop where I was the AD guy, the virtualization guy, the storage guy.
Yep.
My boss also did storage, which meant I did storage, right? As far as that goes, and storage, just like computer networking, is a consumable, resource.
Yep.
Right? And one of the things I really like about what we're doing at VMware, really, obviously I'm a vSAN focused guy, but it's actually kind of further up the stack if you think about it. We have this particular feature that we call Storage Policy-Based Management, or SPBM. A lot of people think that's just vSAN related or our other offering or feature vVols, but you can actually use SPBM with traditional storage also. The thing I like about it, keep in mind when I was a customer, I worked in as a financial service provider. I worked in health insurance IT. Environments where consistent, repeatable, reportable, compliance-based, those kind of things, right? And that's one of the really strong things about SDDC that I really, really like, is if I can tie things to policies and I can orchestrate and automate based on those policies, it makes it really easy to consume, and it also makes it really easy to be consistent, at a small scale or very, very large scale.
Yeah, especially consistency is key, especially when you're looking at compliance. Organizations have probably run many fire drills over the last year when it comes to GDPR and so forth.
Yeah.
But that's not the only major compliance out there. You have SOX, you have
PCI DSS, HIPAA, all of
DoD
those,
stuff. Trying to get certified for DoD, you have to be very on point. So I like that. So what attracted you to vSAN specifically?
Well, kind of really, the storage policy-based management, right?
Yep.
When I joined, we weren't doing a whole lot in the vVol space. We were really doing more vSAN, if you will. We're kind of branching out lately, but the thing about vSAN that I really like is if I kind of look back to when I was a customer, and my boss would say, or someone else would say, hey, I need a line, I need 10 terabytes, or I need this, or whatever. It was always me that had to go in and provision disks. It was always me that had to do the zoning. It was always me that had to do every bit of that, right?
Yeah.
And if I did things wrong, it could be bad, as far as that goes. But more importantly, when it came time to, this workload needs this change, or this workload needs this change, I would have to spin up new resources, move things over, test it, see if that's where it needed to be. If it wasn't, then I'd move things back, make some changes, and it was just a vicious cycle, right? With SPBM and vSAN, I can literally go in per object, not just the VM, but the VM, any disks associated with that particular VM, I can individually adjust those based on policy. And to me, that's that's kind of our secret sauce, right? Our magic. And that if I need to change the performance or protection of one disk, I can just by policy make a change. If that policy doesn't meet the needs based on whatever VROPS or whatever other package that's reporting on that is, I can literally tweak it, make another change. It immediately takes that. So it's really easy.
So would you say that being an IT generalist, right, with many shops have IT generalists, they don't have storage-specific admins, that this approach with the SPBM, does that help them adopt the storage philosophy or the storage needs, if you will, or to easily be able to manage that role, if it is?
Well, let me give you just a particular use case as an example, right? Let's say, for instance, I have one workload that needs a lot of resources just at one time during the month. Well, it's not really cost effective for me to go and give it all the resources it needs just for that one day, which essentially once a month is 12 days a year, right? But through policy, I can tie that to some cloud management platform, VRA, or even just a Windows scheduled task with an API call, Power CLI or other. I can literally change the performance characteristics just for a given time frame and then when I'm done, I can change it back, right? So kind of where I'm getting at is I don't have to go and spend a lot of money. I don't have to have necessarily the fastest for everything all the time. I don't even have the slowest.
Yeah.
But I can tweak things as I need, and to me as a generalist, I don't have to be a performance monster when it comes to knowing how to handle performance configurations or things like that. I can literally tweak things very, very easily without a lot of heavy lifting. Is it kind of how I look at it?
Now, this would also allow you to do different environments, like based off of your role, right? So if I need someone in development, I can just say, here's your policy as an admin. Say here, and it's easily configured for them.
I could absolutely
to consume the storage.
Yeah, let's say I'm putting. Let's say I've got test and dev in the same environment, and I want to give test more resources than I do dev, right? Because let's say I'm trying to get something ready to make it available later for production, and I could give test more resources. Absolutely, all based on policy. I could get even more fancy with that, use tags, and I can literally run tasks that go through on a timed basis and change those policies, right? I mean, policies make it easy to really just get deep down and individually assign what level of protection or performance you get.
All right, so we're going to be wrapping up here. Is there any last-minute words on SDDC from a storage perspective or vSAN that you want to give the listeners?
Well, I will mention that I think it was yesterday that we released vSAN 6.7 Update 1 as part of vSphere 6.7 Update 1. A lot of good new features there. I've got a blog post out on virtualblocks.com that covers what's new in 6.7 Update 1. We've introduced some things like trim and unmap support for vSAN, which a lot of people have been asking for. And obviously there's certain virtual machine hardware versions, different OSs that support that. That's just one of the new benefits. We got better capacity reporting, so those folks that are a little bit of IT, or a little bit of storage, a little bit of networking, a little bit of compute, they want to have better views from a capacity perspective. We've got historical capacity reporting. We've got capacity reporting based on potential policy that you may use. Just overall, a lot of really, really good features in 6.7 Update 1.
Sweet. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time out here while you're out at the Boston VBug. I caught you just before you get ready to speak on vSAN. So with that, until next time.